I think, just for you being a part of this leadership, webinar is great. I've had some great people on this so far, and, having you on here is just, it's fantastic, and can't wait to hear about, your story and what you're doing in the community. So thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So I guess just the first question, Robert, in 60 seconds, for those who are unfamiliar with Robert Esmie, who are you?
Well, I'm a regular folks.
Yeah.
No, but an Olympic two-time world champion. Been into the retail sector, customer service for about 10 years in management. I've always had the passion and love turning athletes into superstar from all genres. I've been doing that for about 20 plus years. And now with my new company, I wanted to take the same template of success and take it to another level by helping people globally.
Fantastic. And we'll definitely get into your businesses later on in the interview. Looking forward to hearing about that. So your resume, Robert, your accomplishments are extraordinary. Olympic gold, World Championship gold, Canadian Olympic Hall of Fame, Canadian Sports Hall of Fame. With all of those accolades, what is the one, if you're going to have to pick one story to tell somebody, what's it going to be?
The Olympic 4x1.
Awesome.
The creation.
Yeah, and there's a bit of a story to that too. I was watching an interview and you were talking about, what you had, shaved in your hair that day, and you were talking about, the 5 major stories that were going on. Would love to hear a little bit more of that as well.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we know the Olympics usually there's about 5 major stories. Okay. So for myself, I knew one of the big one was the 100-meter dash. Who is going to be the world's fastest man title? Then after that, it was Michael Johnson double-double. Then the next story was, can Carl Lewis get his 9th Olympic gold medal? Right? The next big story was the relay. What's going to happen there? Right? And that's always, we love the relay because globally, everyone loves the relay because of different strategy that goes behind it. And then there was no one who really was trying to break the 5th story, didn't blow up. So I said, I'm going to create the 5th story about me. It was quite bold, right? And I'm a person like to think and see things, sort of a marketing, I would like to say probably marketing geniuses behind the scene without having the paperwork. So I went in and I got a business card and I was like, let me see what's going to happen here. And all of a sudden, I draw a stick man with some speed on it. And I'm like, okay, we're in the right direction. And then my fingers just automatically start right relay blast off. I'm like,
sure.
Hey, excuse me, haircutting guy. You got any Caribbean in you? And he's like, yeah, I'm half Jamaican. I'm like, perfect. You can do what I want. I said, can you carve this up in my head? And he's like, yeah, no problem. Well, to make a long story short, people from all over the world taking pictures said I'm going to be famous. When I went back and I look in the mirror, because I had the mirror in the front and the one in the back, I'm like, to myself, I'm like, this is very ugly. Right? But I realized, I'm like, it's already done. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Right? So the concept when I came in with the haircut was not only to change the narrative of becoming a brand globally, but on the side, because I was put as sort of I earned my spot to run, but I was put sort of an alternate, which I'm ranked number 3 in the country. Right? So I said, all right, tell you what, if I turn this into a fun moment for the teammates, right, and make them laugh, because when I went in to the rounds, it was like business mode, but the fun was not there, right? I would like to say the authenticness of the relay wasn't there. So think of yourself when you're on the playground and you play tag. The energy system, the mindset, the behavior, everything's different. And I wanted to see that setting on the track.
Okay.
Because I felt physically we're prepared. Mentally we were prepared, but it was too tense. Okay. I need to get some relaxation. but yet be in the moment. So when I showed each one of the members the haircut, they laughed at me. Some called me an idiot. Some called me a clown. Or I told you the man's a clown. But those guys, they see that piece, but they don't see the geniusness behind the mindset, right? Some people look at Einstein and call him crazy. But behind all that stuff, there's things always moving, parts always moving. So I felt on paper, we weren't the fastest team. But I felt as my job, I took on as the lead road, if I'm going to lead this team out of the blocks, right? Once in motion, once to stay in motion. So how can I create a value to this team to make it to the next level? So that's how I started looking at that whole aspect amongst making myself famous, right?
Fantastic.
I wanted to stretch that 15 seconds of fame to at least an hour, 2 hours, right? So within there, I'm thinking if I position my blocks at a certain angle and come out, that should save some time. If I think of when the gun fires, most people hear bang, but the gun actually fired before you hear the bang. That's after the fact. So I try to tune my ears, I call up my satellite dish to hear click of the triggering of the gun, right? And pretend like it's firing. You can hear the gun and the cylinder and everything moving out. So I role play and meditize all this stuff before the actual track runs. So then I wanted to have said, okay, if the baton is 12 inches long, I think I have a baton here, somewhere, right? And if I take the baton and I hold it in 3, and I'm able to place it in the other person's hand in 3, I have 6 left. So if that is about this long, which is can win and lose races. So if I'm saving this much, I have 18 inches. So 18 inches, that's could be 2 of a second or whatever. So these are the things I'm calculating. How am I gonna bring our time down to beat the Americans? Because on paper, they're faster. So, and then we change up the concept of the word. Everybody says stick. And I'm like, lost in translation. Everybody gonna say stick like a bunch of idiots. So, and not only that, you have 60,000 people screaming. It's gonna sound like a mumbo jumbo. So we want to differentiate the word, and we said hi. So back then, if you say stick, it's 5 letters, and it's hard on the diaphragm if you practice it. And if you go high, it's easier on the diaphragm for the breathing. It's differentiate your stuff from the other person, and it's 2 letters. So right there, I'm already saving you 0.3 of a second for each time. That's my mindset, right? So
very cool.
All this stuff I'm calculating, I'm putting together behind the scene. So we know for a fact from 1993, the American guy usually is John Drummond that end up being the starter. And I've learned at an early age, he's in the mental type of the game, and he goes by the crowd. So if I can grab the crowd from him and control it, I can control everything else that happens. So Arnold Schwarzenegger gave us a shirt the night before. It says, "Relax, you've been erased," from the movie Eraser. I put it on and I wore it the day of the race, and I make sure he can read it nice and clear, right? And I heard him say, "Relax, you've been erased." And I'm like, and I make a fist, right? I didn't want it too excited. But the thing is, my mom almost blew it up for me because she came on the warm-up track when we're on the way out, running down, Robert! I'm like, oh my God, here she comes. And she's like, "You go out there, you kick those guys' ass." Excuse the vocabulary. The American team was next to me. I have to that's my mother. You know those crazy things. Don't worry about that. Right? Because after I made the man read my shirt, I don't want to fuel him. Right? I want to keep him locked in the cage. Right? So then we got to the dugout and got into the track. And I told Peter Thompson was to take a picture. He was him and Ron McLean. I told what was going to happen. So he came over, took a picture, and all of a sudden I saw 10,000 cameras start rushing. I'm like, yes, it's working, it's working, it's working. And then all of a sudden, the camera go in and start zooming on my haircut, and people in the stadium I could hear. And then as soon as they focused, everyone was like, relay blast off. I was like, oh my God, that is so beautiful. It was like hooked on phonics when they said all together. I was like, this is what I envisioned. So I said, now I have to go in and we have to win to become Mr. Blastoff. So just planning out the whole process and going through everything. The only thing I didn't encounter was the Nigerian team.
Mhm.
They, I think it was Nigeria or Ghana, one of them, end up using another athletes in the 1 or 2 rounds and brought him back again in the finals after the
Okay.
podium, which you're not allowed. So
Okay.
that made the whole race delayed by 30 minutes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that wasn't planned. So within there, I'm like, okay, put my hand up every few often so the guys can see that we're on the same page. We stay relaxed and stay focused.
Sure.
Right? John Drummond, we already know we got control of because the crowd was reacting to me. The jumbo screen, he lost that. So all I had to do now is to react. And then at the time, I lost my father. So I put him in lane 7 ahead of me, which whoever that was up there. It's like mentally, that's a body. So that way I can stay focused. I can be on the game. And I'm sort of racing my father, which I've never raced as a child. So it gives me an opportunity to say, Dad, today's showtime. Let's play tag. I'm coming for you. So when I came out the blocks, it's like my dad I'm chasing down there, right? I don't care who that was, but I'm going to beat my dad today, right? I'm coming out. And I remember came flying around the corner. I didn't even hear the crowd, no one. I looked up and I'm like, hi. I saw Glenn Roy took off. And after I said hi, I saw his hand came back and I still sprint to make sure I'm still in rhythm. I saw the hand, boom, gave him FedEx, the baton FedEx style manner, safe delivery. It goes flying down the backstretch like an avalanche. And all of a sudden the crowd kicked in. I felt like Kramer. I was like, whoa, right? I could hear that. Ah! I was like, what? And then I'm watching Bruni around the corner and it's on the jumbo screen now and his face like, right? And then on the back leg, I'm like watching Donovan. I'm like, please don't drop the baton. Please don't turn around. Please don't drop the baton. He grabbed it and I'm like, okay. And then boom, I meet him at the other end and we're going so fast, we still miss each other in the hugs.
Yeah.
But it was unbelievable moment, unbelievable.
No, a great story, and you know what, just an amazing moment. Thank you for sharing that. Your passion is amazing. I love it so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. So, you know, when you look back at everything that you've accomplished, you know, is it overwhelming sometimes when you think about it, or you know, you just look back and say, you know what, I had an awesome life, I did great things, and that's how it was meant to be?
No, I just accept everything because you know, it's as a child, it's something that I worked for, and there were so many obstacles along the way, car accidents, firing my coach the year going into the Olympics, coaching myself through the Olympics. So at that time, I believe I was the only athlete that coached myself to an Olympic gold medal, right? So to be able to go through all that process and to get there and accomplish that, right? That's a huge reward for myself, and to validate hard work do pay off. Dreams do come true. You know, so overall, I think I had some regrets that, you know, I fell in love with track and field, and at a certain time, it did not love me back, right? It's a heartbreak. It's like a bad relationship when you pour in your love into something and it's not returning the affection. So after some injuries and different things keep creeping in, the regret was when I was in that level of fitness, I have never run the 100-meter injury-free at that level where I thought I would have capable of running. And don't forget, back in 1989, I've already predicted the 100-meter in Atlanta was going to be 9.6, which is 9.84. That was going to win the Olympics. I have it on a poster 6 years before. So when Donovan crossed the finish line in 9.6, which equals 9.84, it's like, how did you know? I said, I am that good. Right? So,
absolutely.
And even a 200-meter, I've only ran the 150 in a 200-meter full out. I've never really ran that 200-meter at phenomenal fitness shape, which I ran a 150 in 14.5. Carl Lewis, Michael Johnson, Usain Bolt, these guys run it in 14.5 as well. And they run 19 point change. So I think that's, if I had a regret, that's probably not to run and sprint at that fitness level, those distance from start to finish. Because I probably would have made a tremendous amount of body work ahead of me based on I'm only 5 feet 6, 5 feet 7, right? And you know, that's probably one of my regrets, but everything else, I live with it. And you know, I'm content with it. based on where I'm coming from, the journeys and the path that I've taken, and let people know speed come in all shape and sizes.
Yeah. And you know what, like, this is the first time we talked, and it's very motivational to hear you, explain what it took to get there. And that was only a little bit, that was 2 minutes of your life, right? And speaking of that, you're also a motivational speaker, and what does that entail? And what are the groups that you speak to? How do you identify who you're going to see? Is it schools? Is it organizations? What's your focus?
Absolutely. I'm everywhere. I'm like Google. The funny thing is, the same thing that I do athletically, I do in the business side. There's areas that I've gone into that I didn't have the qualification education-wise, but they allow me to think of it like my own business and brought my own flavor to it. And those are what made me successful in those worlds. So when I'm dealing with the speaking engagement formula, I could be with corporate, I could be with high school, I could be elementary. I adjust my vocabulary based on that audience. I put myself in those situations that they may be in or maybe going into, and able to deliver that message to translate over. Same thing with business. If I'm doing a business, I am researching who the owner is, the CEO, the gatekeepers, all the different elements within the company. And when I'm building my speech and deliver those athletic points, I am tying it right back into the business side. So that way I can drive home those messages. Not only that, I also get what is the theme and what is the messages that company is trying to deliver within that conference or that workshop, whatever. And then I make sure all the points align and reinforces everything they want to do and where they want to go. So it's the same thing in an organization. That leader may be saying the exact same thing, but someone coming in from the outside can deliver those messages. It's a slam dunk. And they're like, oh my God, I've never heard this. And the guy's like, I've been telling you this for how long? So with the experience of the business side as I've been, I can tie that easily with the athletic side and deliver those keynotes.
Awesome. And speaking of your business, so Speed Doctor, aka Air Blastoff, that is your business. So could you talk about that? What your business is, your mission statement, and how you're helping athletes and how you're helping your community.
Well, absolutely. And that's where I'm coming from, the Olympics, where I came out with Blastoff. And then, at a truck stop, they didn't know me in Ontario as Robert Esme. They know me as Mr. Blastoff, which was weird. So when I moved to Vancouver, they didn't know me as Blastoff. They knew me as Robert Esme, and because I went more business over there and more sports here. So, but I realized something, that most memories in sports happen within the air. Most great moments. It could be from hockey, diving through. You saw a couple of goals the other day. All right. You see a couple of catches in baseball. They're diving, catching the ball and stretching themselves out. And that's called performance to the right. The body goes to another level. The mental goes to another level. So I figured, you've got Air Canada. You've got Air Jordan. If you don't have air, you die. So this has to be that urgent, that important. So we rebrand from Blastoff, which is start to finish. That's how the concept of Blastoff, but we needed to put some air in it. So when you graduate Air Blastoff, you got your wings to fly, right? Nice. And the fastest vessel is a plane. So when you get off the ground, you can fly, but you need to get your body to that level. So the concept was all sport requires speed. If you think I'm wrong, I will train you for free. So that means you got to give me a sport and say, oh, there's no speed. But I guarantee you, there is a speed involved. And I have not given a free program yet. They do a scholarship process. So within there, I wanted to be a resource to athletes, parents, coaches, because I work with different people, different elements. And I am the person you come to when you got a problem to deal with your speed and explosive. If you have a heart problem, do not come see me. I can't help you. You need a heart surgeon. Right? So the same concept. And I had to create a brand where when you think of Burger King, you heard of Whopper. Think of McDonald's, you hear of Big Mac.
Big Mac.
Tim Hortons, Coffee Donut. You hear of Air Blastoff, speed. Period. So when I walk into a gym, I have my doctor coat on. I have my notepad and
Yeah.
stuff. And when I walk in, the whole gym stops. I looked over. So now they know who's the star here today.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So they're like, "Oh, what are you doing? What's going on? You have a doctor coat?" I said, and they said, "Speed doctor. What is that?" So I said to one lady, she's about in her 60s. She said, "You think you can make me fast?" I said, "Ma'am, can I ask you a question?" She said, "Sure." I said, "When you go to your doctor, you're not feeling well. The doctor prescribed you a prescription, right?" She goes, "Yes." Is it guarantee you that prescription will work? She says, "No." I said, "What happened when it doesn't work?" I have to go back, yell at him, and write me a new one, right? So I said, "You're paying me each time." She said, "Yes." I said, "I guarantee you, I make it so fast you catch a cold." So you said, "What? You can make that?" I said, "Any age, any size, anywhere. I'm a doctor, right? You go see me, I make it fast." So with that concept, people are like, "Yeah, it makes sense." So that's the brand of there.
Okay.
But now we move over into critique. I don't want to take that same formula. And one thing I know for a fact is everyone needs speed in the world for sports. One thing I know for a fact is everyone seeking feedback or guidance within all the other genres. So with designing the app, yes, there's feedback happening out there, but not into the level where we're going. We wanted to make sure it's user-friendly. We want to be able to use experts' mindset that can break things down. If I have an athlete, I might have them for an hour, but I charge them an extra amount of price. Within that same time, I can take a 15-second video of them and I can break it down within 2 minutes, the exact thing I was going to do in an hour. But now you have access to me worldwide, right? And it's very difficult for people to find experts in areas and pick their brains, right? So when you have a platform that has all of them, they can go click, boom. Oh my God, I just got Steph Curry or Steph Curry's coach, right? To teach me how to shoot. How you gonna go wrong, right? So we just finished the first part of the website for experts, and then the App Store, the prove our stuff that should be ready to go by end of the month, and then we're live globally, right? So
awesome,
and especially getting ready for the Olympics coming. And
awesome, love it. I love it. Thanks for sharing that. And just really the last question, like you're obviously very dedicated to give back and help. And you know what? Not everyone is going to be an Olympic gold medalist, but there are countless lessons that you can provide people on and off the track or in and out of your office. Is that an accurate statement?
Absolutely. It's important, that we share some of that information, right? I always say sharing is caring, as my kids said. For me, there's 4 things that I always wanted to do in life, right? Was to be an Olympic champion. Accomplish. I wanted to be one of the best fathers out there, and I'm still in the process of accomplishing that. I wanted to be a businessman. We're in the process of that. And the 4th pillar is to give back to society. I've always given back to my community in different areas, but it gives me an opportunity now, especially with critique, where not only I want to give time, but I also want to be able to afford to give them financially as well. So I believe in the first 10 months, once we go live, each month I tied with one of my causes that I'm going to give back to each month. I'm a huge component of cancer, being in the cancer. I do a lot with the Cancer Society, but I want to be a help on a global stage. Big brothers, I've always had mentors as a young boy. Some of my peers, when I was even 14, 15, I had 60-year-olds. I had 80-year-olds that were friends of mine and my family that helped mentor me along the way. Right? So that's a huge part of my life. I love, in my culture, we always say twice a child, once an adult. Right now, I'm an adult. When I started out, I was a child. I'm an adult. When I get older, I'm going to be another child. So it's always important for me to take care of the children and the seniors. So that's the passion of how I'm going to tie that back with. I also love the concept of helping others that can't help themselves, such as the Special Olympians. Right? I see them as athletes. They work hard just like able-bodied. And I worked with them a couple of years ago, and they taught me great lessons. They taught my able athletes great lessons. And I'm like, if they can do this, please do not give me any excuse. We're going to make this happen. So just to be able to see those in those areas, those are some of my love and my causes that I want to champion for the remaining 25 years of my life. And then after that, I just want to say, public, leave me alone. honey, we're going on cruising. Let's go cruise the world. So over the next 25 years is to finish off the business, my charity, my passion, and my kids, let them go off to college, and I'm good. One's already gone. I have another one in the coop waiting to leave.
Fantastic.
So those are my love.
Yeah, no, that's that's a great way to finish off this interview. There's so many great takeaways, best practices that you've shared. And if anyone wanted to reach out or learn more about you, your businesses, your organization, how can they do that, Robert?
Anytime. RobertEsmie.com, critique, CRITIQ.com. If you feel like you're an expert, you would like to make some extra money, the platform is waiting for you. We validate you. If you say you are who you are, and we validate that, then you can be live. You could be 25 years in the business, but if you're not validated, I don't care. My users can't have access because I need to make sure you are who you say you are to give personalized feedback. Other than that, I'm available for many different things. As Ron McLean always said, you can put Robert on a skateboard, sell icicle, whatever it is. This man is a marketing machine. Love you, Ron. Love you.
Oh, that's fantastic, Robert. Thank you so much for your time. It's a real pleasure. I'm so happy that we connected, and can't wait to share your story, sir. And I can't wait to have you over in a critique, because your body of work is very impressive, my friend. Come on over, share with some other people globally. I appreciate that, Robert. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. God bless. Okay, bye-bye.